I'm Sue Heilbronner, and my company is called Hey Sue, like heysue.com. Primarily, my business is one of executive coaching in the area of conscious leadership, and I also work with teams almost exclusively in tech, which is what my background is in. Honestly, one thing, I have this new book out, and it's called Never Ask for the Sale, and it is the first time I've ever publicly disclosed the fact that the beginning of my business, which is, it's a sustainable, great business. I'm so happy I'm doing it. But it started when I got fired. I got fired from my last tech job, and I really was hesitant to admit it publicly, but I put it in this book because I want people to understand that, it's not just pablum when you say one door closes and another door opens. But yeah, that's where the beginning came from. The other thing was that I realized I really, really wanted to work with more than just one company and be able to have an impact horizontally across what's ended up being hundreds of companies, thousands of leaders. I moved to Colorado as a fully baked adult from the East Coast, so I had a lot of exposure to the Northeast corridor. And moving here, this idea of give first, this idea of the way this community wraps its arms around new people, it is more true than anyone could tell you verbally. I got here, I was introduced to people, people made time everywhere to have lunch and coffee and invite me to be a professor of entrepreneurship and figure out what I knew and where I could plug in and where I could be helpful. And it's been the best chapter of my life because of the integration of sort of the love of community and the support of business in the Colorado ecosystem across the range, from the cities to the rural communities. I've been able to touch all of it, and it's been incredibly nurturing to me. So you asked about challenges, and we are at Colorado Startup Week surrounded by hungry, avid entrepreneurs and investors. And the truth is, of course, I've had challenges. Like I have this new book out, and I'm at this event, and we gave out a bunch of sponsored books, and that felt great, but we didn't have enough for everybody who wanted one. And so I called Tattered Cover 2 days ago, and I asked, do you have any copies of Never Ask for the Sale, which is they'll order it, of course, but it's for sale in all bookstores. And they didn't have any. And that's just a letdown, it was just a bummer, But entrepreneurs don't stay there for very long. It's like, yeah, that happened, clocked it, cool, what's next? And I'm sure there have been challenges. And honestly, I'm so surrounded by people who love and support me, both as a business person and as a friend, that I don't experience life that way. But I do think that's the heart of the entrepreneurial mindset. Just the thing happens and it's a new opportunity. It sounds really trivial, but it's how I feel.
I love that.
The first piece of advice I would give is to be sure that they are not swayed by the idea that entrepreneurship is sexy. Because although I do think challenges mostly create opportunities, being an entrepreneur is hard as heck. You work 80, 100 hours, it becomes your life. People you work with are honestly or more important than your romantic partner. So you really want to do it. And not because people will think you're cool. You want to do it because you're willing to go all in. After that, similarly, don't be swayed by this talk that the only way to build a company is to raise VC money and millions and be in TechCrunch and in the Wall Street Journal for that. Really think first about whether your business could profit by just being supported by customers. So think about all the possible paths to grow a business. There's not just one. Oh gosh, my company. I've really realized recently that what I honestly have loved my entire career, being a lawyer, being a tech operator, and then being an executive coach, is I just love being able to make authentic connections with people and being in their lives. And I'm at an age where so many of the people in my life, I met them when they were in their 20s, so now they're in their 30s, some are even in their 40s. And I just want to be on their train for a while. I used to buy coffee for lots of people, and I used to tell them, I'm going to buy coffee, and they'd offer to pay. I'm like, no. The senior most person buys the coffee. And then I would say, and when I turn 60, you're buying the coffee. And in about 6 months, I have a lot of coffee coming my way, and I really look forward to that. I just recently published with Hachette a book called Never Ask for the Sale. And the subtitle is Supercharge Your Business with the Power of Passionate Ambivalence. And if I just say why I wrote this book, it is that so many people have been asking me for years to talk to them about selling naturally. Just being, I am a natural sales. I'm doing it now. I'm selling right now. It just has always run through my pores. And turning something that feels icky or something that people think has to be arrogant into something that is just a natural outgrowth of your gifts in one book that is affordable, and being able to scale that to as many people who are interested in advancing their goals through passion and ambivalence, I'm just super psyched to have it out. You're asking why executive leaders need coaching. And the answer to that question is many, well, actually, probably most need it. But the only ones I want to hang out with are the ones who want it, who really see that there's an opportunity to turn their natural habits or their natural tendencies, which have gotten them so far in life, to be things that are not just their default, not just their autopilot, but just one option of how they lead, and to open up the possibilities of all these new patterns or channels for their leadership so that they can relate to larger and more differentiated groups of people, and so they can grow personally into a more engaging, aligned, and connected person.